Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 10 of Pokemon Horizons titled Nemona and Brassius just dropped, and in this episode, Liko and Roy have gone to Artazon to meet with Brassius. However, when they get there, they find that the gym is closed. What has happened with Brassius? Let's find out. Continuing from last episode, Liko and Roy head to Artazon to meet Brassius and get info on the Black Rayquaza. They walk around, meet the Pokemon in Paldea, when all of a sudden they see the Sunflora statue. When they look at who made them, it turns out those statues were made by Brassius. They ask around the town about the shiny Rayquaza before they come across Nemona beating a trainer in battle. When they introduce themselves to her, she wants to battle them, but they tell her that they're looking for Brassius right now. Nemona also has some business with Brassius actually. Brassius hasn't done any gym challenges recently and she's here to find out why. So with that, they decide to go to his art studio. Also, Liko realizes Nemona for being a champion rank trainer. They hear Brassius yell something isn't avant-garde enough. This is something he'll say a lot in the episode. When they go around the corner, they see Brassius with a broken sculpture next to him. Liko then introduces herself and talks about her father, who told her about Brassius. Brassius recognizes Liko's dad, Alex, so he invites them in. We see that he's made many sculptures, including Pokemon Mug. When Roy tries to bring up the subject of the shiny Rayquaza, however, Brassius gets upset and walks away, saying this isn't avant-garde. Trying to figure out what to do, Liko realizes that Brassius is probably in a slump. Since her father's also an artist, she knows what that's like, and what he would do in these types of situations is do things to make him happy. So they decide that they're going to gather all the Sunflora in the town to make Brassius happy, since there's a saying about how gathering all the Sunfloras will make people happy in Artazon. And just like in the game, they go around the town and collect a bunch of Sunfloras in the area. Even afterwards though, Brassius is in hiding and doesn't come out until his Dollop forces him out. Finally he decides to talk. Basically, he was creating a sculpture of a Sunflora looking at a shiny Rayquaza, inspired by Alex's book. However, one night when he was out, he actually saw the real shiny Rayquaza, and he felt like the Sunflora looking up at the Rayquaza. It was so intense that now, any art he makes, he doesn't think he's good enough. However, Roy doesn't see it that way. Instead, not only does he think that Brassius' Rayquaza statue is awesome, but so is the story of how he saw Rayquaza. When asked by Brassius why he's pursuing Rayquaza, Roy says that Rayquaza is his first step, and hearing that from Roy inspires Brassius, so he decides he once again wants to do gym battles, and this time the first one he wants to do is against Roy so he can test him to see if he's ready for Rayquaza. We get a gym battle here like the old times, except this isn't for the gym badge, and I'll say that's a really smart way to go about showing the stories of the game without retreading the old format of the anime. We'll still get some gym battles, but it'll be in a different context. Roy brings out his Fuecoco and Brassius brings out his Sudowoodo. Roy thinks that a Sudowoodo is a grass type, so he tries to have Fuecoco use Ember, however, that doesn't do a lot of damage. He's finally told by Nemona that Sudowoodo is a rock type, which shocks him. He then tries to get close range with Tackle, but Brassius uses Substitute, which confuses Roy and Fuecoco. He tries a bunch of times to hit it, but he keeps failing. Sudowoodo then uses Taunt to anger Fuecoco, and it works. Fuecoco starts wildly stomping around and using Ember everywhere. Roy's trying too hard to win. Brassius tells Roy that the first step in battling is to see how your Pokemon is feeling. So hearing that, Roy instead has Fuecoco channel its anger. It begins stomping all over the floor, causing massive shockwaves to go, and breaks the Substitute. Fuecoco has learned Stomping Tantrum. Roy has Fuecoco use it one more time before trying to get close range. However, this time, Brassius has another trick up his sleeve. He terrestrializes Sudowoodo. And while Roy thinks that gives him an advantage since it's a grass type now, Sudowoodo becomes much faster and KOs Fuecoco with Trailblaze. So even though he lost, Brassius seems happy with Roy. Also, a bunch of trainers come around and surround Brassius in all of his battle. Nemona explains terrestrialization to us at home, and there's one more thing. Brassius wants to show our heroes that when he went to the forest of Arboliva where he saw the Rayquaza, he also saw the Arboliva there shining. And he thinks that has something to do with the shiny Rayquaza. Seeing this, he created a statue of the Arboliva and he shows it to our heroes. After this, they go back to the ship and tell everyone about the events of the day. Our heroes plan on getting to the forest the next day, and Liko talks to Roy about how when she saw the statue, she felt the pain and sadness of the statue, meaning the Arboliva must be feeling that way too. However, they're not fully sure. And the episode ends with a massive Arbivola walking through the forest at night. This is a fun episode. We get to finally experience a Paldea story from the games and the anime. I love the introduction to Nemona. She's just as excited for battle here as she is in the games, but she also feels a lot more mature. I also like them immediately acknowledging that she's the champion. I know this is the type of reaction people hope that Ash would receive as well when he became champion Alola, but alas, that wasn't the case. Also, I love the fact that since Liko's from Paldea, she actually knows quite a bit about her region. She knows the Pokemon, the champion. It's strange she didn't know that Brassius was the grass gym leader, but besides that, her portrayal of this being in her own region has been great. It's so different compared to Ash, who knew nothing about Pokemon when he started his journey. I wonder if Roy will be doing the gym challenges in the future, or will it alternate between him and Liko battling different gym leaders? I feel like that would work better because the story doesn't feel the same as the old anime, especially since the gym battle isn't the focus anymore. I can't wait to find out how they go about this. And as for what's coming in the future, it'll be interesting to see how the Arbivola and Rayquaza plot continues. I think it'll have something to do with Liko's pendant as well, since he's been absent from the main plot for a while. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. As for this episode, I liked it quite a bit. What about you guys? What did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at PdGaming, and that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.